on ACJ Online Television. My name is Adru, and here with me today is Mr. Abdul Karim. You're welcome.
Thank you, Adru.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my viewers. Today we're going to be talking about the EFCC boss arrest or suspension, rather.
Yes, suspension.
Suspension and arrest.
Detention.
So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to go in details and to see what's caused it and how the case is going. And I must compliment the president for that. I actually feel it was a good step and a bold step to do. So, Mr. Karim, what's your take on the arrest of the EFCC boss?
Well, thank you, Adru. The arrest has been agreed by a lot of people to be the government, the president's way of reassuring Nigerians that his administration is committed to fighting corruption. Yes, and to holding every public officials accountable for whatever transpired during their course of duties or how they manage their activities. Yes. And they must be responsible for every actions they've made. So this is the president's way of assuring Nigerians that his administration is fully committed to fighting corruption, unlike the previous administration, where we had tons of corrupt leaders and corrupt officials that were never held responsible, and these accumulated and piled up to the extent that it became unmanageable, and we have a cabal of people who are so dedicated to embezzlement of funds instead of carrying out their duties.
For them.
Of course. And we see people lobbying for same positions just to do
the same exact thing.
So it's becoming a mess, and it's part of the things affecting the national development. So I feel it's very commendable, and there's some, like I said, some agencies and sectors like the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum, they commended the president for taking such action, because they believe that, according to what they said, that they've been appealing to the former president to nip this guy in the mud or in the previous administration, but all their efforts to make him get him out of that office prove abortive. And why? Is because of his abuse of power and authority of that office.
Yes.
So he's been charged with that, and it's still the same reason. It's still the same reason for, the EFCC charged him with. You understand?
Okay.
So they charged him for abusing of offices and other charges like money laundering and other crimes on that. Yes.
Okay. If you're not aware of this information, the EFCC boss was arrested on Wednesday, being the person of Abdul Rashid Bawa. He was arrested on Wednesday and was invited by the SSS, State Security Service, for interrogation, and afterwards was suspended and detained by the authorities. Furthermore, do you think the arrest was politically motivated?
Well, I won't, hit my chest and say yes or not, because, like I said, this is a very complex situation and something that's been building up prior this administration. So, like I said, a lot of agencies have been against his activities as the boss of the EFCC, and how his abuse of power in the office has affected the credibility of EFCC as an agency.
Yes.
It has affected them in a lot of ways that even now Nigerians does not have confidence in their activities in the mandate given to them. We don't trust them. We don't have ability in we don't believe in their capabilities. We've lost interest in the EFCC as a whole. So the boss has not done so well to change this perspective, and his act or the way he handled the affairs of the office has clearly shown the lack of quality leadership.
Quality leadership.
So
yes.
if you ask me if it's political, aside from it being, yes, it might be political, but let's just, stay within the frame of being a responsible leader who handles affairs, who is dedicated to performing his duties as expected. So he has failed in that aspect.
Yes,
he has failed in that aspect, and that affects the credibility of that agency. So now you're talking about EFCC. So if we don't trust in the EFCC, both locally, then it affects our image internationally.
Of course.
Which affects other things that might, be connected to the agency as a whole. So if we don't trust the agency, then we are in a mess. So it's we can't relate it to being political. Maybe if it's not being political, then it wouldn't have been perhaps been noticed by the president, which might have prompted his actions. So yes, he deserves what he got, and hopefully, if this alleged the alleged crimes on this list, these things that the EFCC said he has done, if he hasn't done that, then he shouldn't have anything to worry about. After the interrogation, he will come out a free man. But definitely, if it's the other way around, I'm very confident that he's going to get what he deserves.
Yes, and all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, people have been commending the president for doing what he did. Like, it's long overdue. People are happy. People are seeing that the president is working, and that this man has done more harm than good in this agency, and he has been brought to book.
Yes, the fact that he's even a very young
man.
Is more of a disgrace to the young growing Nigerians who, and it's still it's not a very good thing on our side. Whether we are hoping to have a space in Nigerians, in the administration, in politics.
Yeah.
Now seeing someone who has the opportunity to prove how effective we can be as youth, and how brilliant and how we have evolved politically, and saying this now, coming from such person, is a negative vibe.
Yeah.
Towards the how the government might perceive Nigerian youths.
So. Yes, that's true. In the light of this, how do you think? What do you think is this means for the future of the EFCC?
Well, the department, like I said, the EFCC has lost its credibility and bearing, and has dented the fight against corruption, making Nigerians no longer believing in it. So if the EFCC has lost the fight against corruption, let's take for instance the boss that was arrested. Before him being arrested, at least his actions led towards
that's the person of
Abdurrashid Bawa.
Yes.
Talking about Abdurashid, the boss of the EFCC now.
Yes.
So his abuse of office has led the EFCC. Let me tell you something. It can't be the only one. He's definitely going to have loyalists in the agency.
Definitely.
So having loyalists who believes in his bid, he takes care of them, of course. And
they've done things for him as well.
And they've done things for him as well. So this is corruption in an agency that is supposed to be fighting corruption. You see, if an agency that is supposed to be fighting corruption itself is corrupted, then you see that this is a situation that is not favorable for the country, because this actually the meaning is that every sector in Nigeria is actually corrupt. Okay, and I'll explain that. Now, if an agency that is supposed to tackle corruption, question people that are corrupt or practice corrupt activities, if the agency that is supposed to curb them, question them, interrogate them, sentence them, is guilty of the same thing.
Yeah, they're even the chairman of
chair.
this. So let me use that one. They are the chairman of this corruption.
So, excuse me. So you see how it has affected us, not just within the country, but outside the country, because we have Nigerians who also travel abroad to commit crimes, or who come from there to come into the country with having committed crimes over there, and an agency that is charged of embezzlement or taking bribery. So you want to tell me that I will believe in an agency like that to report someone who has stolen from another country, or has stolen and went to another country? Because even if I report such person to that agency, how am I sure that it won't just end in bribery and everything will just go like that? So it's still a very big fall.
There was something I saw on Instagram while I was reading through comment section. Somebody said the Oga Patakpata of them all is the EFCC boss that will arrest somebody for getting gift card of $20. And you are there embezzling so much from the country, and you are trying to fight corruption, which doesn't even make sense. This listening with a question in my mind: do you think the EFCC have even done enough to fight against corruption?
You see, we can't totally outrule the possibility of them doing their job as an agency. Yes, I would say that there are other agencies in this country that still we have blemishes of corruption in it, but it still doesn't mean that they don't
carry out their duties.
Okay. Or some of them, understand? So yes.
So you think they carry out their duties? Yeah.
See, initially when some